All right, reading Genesis 1:26, page 2. God created man in the image of himself. In the image of God he created him, male and female he created him. God blessed them, saying to them, "Be fruitful, multiply, fill the earth, and subdue it. Be masters of the fish and the sea, the birds of heaven, and all the living creatures that move on earth." God also said, "Look, to you I give all the seed-bearing plants everywhere on the surface of the earth, and all the trees with seed-bearing fruit. This will be your food. And to all the wild animals, all the birds of heaven, and all the living creatures that creep along the ground, I give all the foliage of the plants as their food." And so it was. God said all he had made, and indeed it was very good. Evening came and morning came, the sixth day. Thus heaven and earth were completely filled with their array. On the seventh day God had completed the work he had been doing. He rested on the seventh day after all the work he had been doing. Blessed the seventh day and made it holy, because on that day he rested after all his work of creating. Such was the story of heaven and earth as they were created. Paradise and the test of free will. At the time when Yahweh God made earth and heaven, there was as yet no wild bush on the earth, nor had any wild plant yet spring up. For Yahweh God had not sent rain to the earth, nor was there any man to till the soil. Yahweh God shaped man from the soil of the ground and blew the breath of life into his nostrils, and man became a living being. Yahweh God planted a garden in Eden, which is in the east, and there he put man which he had fashioned from the soil. Yahweh God caused to grow every kind of tree, enticing to look at and good to eat, with a tree of life in the middle of the garden, and the tree of knowledge of good and evil. A river flowed from Eden to water the garden, and from there it divided to make 4 streams. The first is named Pison, and it winds all through the land of Havilah, where there is gold. The gold of this country is pure. Bedlam and cornelian stone are found there. The second river is named Gihon, and it winds all through the land of Cush. The third river is named Tigris, and it flows to the east of Ashur. The fourth river is the Euphrates. Yahweh God took the man and settled him in the Garden of Eden to cultivate and take care of it. Then Yahweh gave the man this command: "You are free to eat of all the trees in the garden, but of the tree of knowledge of good and evil you are not to eat, for the day you eat of that you will be doomed and die." Yahweh God said, "It is not right for the man to be alone. I shall make him a helper." So from the soil Yahweh God fashioned all the wild animals and all the birds of heaven. These he brought to the man to see what he would call them. Each one was to bear the name the man would give it. The man gave name to all the cattle, all the birds of heaven, and all the wild animals. But no helper suitable for the man was found for him. Then Yahweh God made the man fall into a deep sleep. And while he was asleep, he took one of his ribs and closed his flesh up forthwith. Yahweh God fashioned the rib he had taken from the man into a woman, and brought her into the man. And the man said, "This one at last is bone and of my bones, and flesh of my flesh. She is to be called woman, because she was taken from man."